here.
Alright, let's get it up.
Welcome back again in another Ninja Talk episode. This time around, we're gonna comment on Instagram post of
Callum Powell.
Callum Powell, one of the most prominent parkour figures, a member of the most famous parkour team in the world.
What's their name? What's the name of the most famous parkour team in the world?
They don't have to be introduced. Everybody knows the name and how to pronounce it correctly.
Mateusz.
Mateusz. Yes, yeah. Anyway, so Henry let me know that recently Callum posted some sort of commentary, thoughts regarding training methods, specifically.
Shall I read it out?
Maybe, yeah.
It was along the lines of that adults are weirdly obsessed with activities that are measurable, very objective based with our fitness instead of experience based, such as focusing on your caloric intake, expenditure, going on apps like Fitbit, Strava, calculating steps, calculating reps, kilograms on a bar, things that give you tangible metrics for your progress so that you can compare yourself to your other boring adult friends. Don't fall into the adult trap. Metrics don't change you. Follow experience, not metrics. So I came to Mateusz with this post because Mateusz is probably
the most measured athlete there is.
Metric-based athlete that I can think of. So I knew that he would have some things to say about this, and we agreed that it would be Ninja Talk worthy.
Yeah, to share some thoughts. Because hearing this, there is a few observations I have, a few things I would take issue with, and a few things actually I would agree as well. Can you put it back? Yeah, sure. So I can read from the beginning. So my number one issue with it would be just the overall tone of the thing, like Callum telling people how to train. Don't do this, do this, so on. Which is which should never be the case, to be honest. Yeah. So you can't. You just need to. Well, you can't tell. Not only with training, you can't tell people what to do. Yeah. Even sometimes you think you do it in their best interest. Yeah. But when it comes to training, in this example, you can't. I mean, that's one thing. You need to give a freedom to people to do the things their own way. Yeah. And this one kind of imposes. Don't train, especially some people who are less experienced, maybe not really entirely confident how to do things. Yeah, they read this, yeah, and then like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna do Fitbit, yeah, which not necessarily could be a good thing, because another issue I have with this is, especially in parkour. Because kind of parkour people pride themselves, like, come into parkour, especially they like to compare it against gymnastics. Yeah, like in gymnastics, you are told to do it this way and this way, this way. Like, nah, none of that in parkour. Come over here, you're gonna train every way you want. Yeah, but turns out as long as you don't use Fitbit, yeah, or as long as you don't use, you can train any way you like, but don't use Fitbits. Not to mention, don't do anything gymnastic-like. So that's another issue I'll have with it, yeah. Whereas that alleged freedom to do the train the way you want. If someone wants to train with the Fitbit, just be my guest, because you never know what someone can come up with, like following this. Maybe someone will make some weird, interesting observation following the heart rate and while they train or doing flips or whatever train. Is it specifically for parkour or in general in training?
He didn't mention parkour in particular. I think I got the feel that it was kind of just training in general.
Yeah.
He doesn't say don't train parkour this way or don't.
That's one thing. Second thing, I understand I think where he's coming from, because some people do obsess too much about it, yeah. But maybe people have to like, they need to be allowed to, because training with this, following all this stuff and so on, it's experience itself. He says like, don't use metrics, use experience. But doing training with Fitbits is experience, yeah. And you may experience, that's the thing. You may experience it in two ways. You use it and then you think, oh, actually, no, I follow it too much. I'm just gonna go with the flow, yeah. Or someone who is, for example, more like mathematically / scientifically inclined can make some interesting. It may somehow help. Depends how your brain works, yeah. So that's my kind of thing with it. Maybe for Callum it wouldn't work, the Fitbit following the steps, but some people actually thrive on following numbers. They can kind of have some interesting conclusion why seeing the numbers, yeah, which eventually could help them, and who knows, maybe we'll come out with something revolutionary that will help others as well, yeah. They'll come up with some interesting findings through that. So that's why I wouldn't go like this. I would just, if I was making posts like this, I would highlight this is my opinion, yeah. This is the why I train, yeah. And last thing about this, because he's so against that, but I'm wonder whether he actually tried it himself, or he just looked on the side, people obsessing about all these metrics, and it's like, nah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Because he definitely has first-hand experience with training, the way he calls it, through experience, without following all the metrics. But does he have equal experience following the metrics, doing all these Fitbits and so on? Because only then you can give like opinions like this, guys, do this, don't do that, I tried it, da. So
maybe he has. I mean, I think I think he's been in the game. He's been in the game for a long time, and I know that he also does a bit of weight training as well.
Okay.
With weight training,
okay.
The numbers are quite an important factor. It's a part of one of the strengths of weight training is that you can actually measure how much weight you're adding to the bar, or.
And I don't think that's a little bit oversimplified, because even if you don't train with Fitbits and all these counting steps, so on, you still measure. Even with parkour, you still measure your progress. There was a jump, one that you couldn't do, but now later on you couldn't do it. Bigger jump, yeah. So that's numbers. The way. It's not numbers, but it's still measuring, yeah. Because otherwise, how are you gonna know if you progress? There is a new skills you get. At the beginning, you could only do one skill or whatever technique, and then you can do 5 skills and numbers again. So that's a little bit.
How do you define it, really?
So because you do have to track progress, otherwise, well, you find a way to find tracking progress. Yep. Plus, when the things are measurable, it's easier to have more clarity and more direction of when you're going.
Yeah. I think it also depends on different kinds of people. People respond differently to different kinds of training. Like some people,
this is what I say, yeah.
Would definitely prefer. I just feel like kind of going in the flow. All this numbers and tracking things is just boring, and it takes the enjoyment out of it, which I can definitely understand. But then you could also say that training with the numbers gives your training like direction, more specific, particularly if you're serious about training. Like you can kind of see, you can track everything, see maybe where some of your weak points are. It feels more specific. But then sometimes, like you touched upon as well, it's good to kind of have a little mixture of both. Like maybe, I've been really obsessing over these numbers. I'm going to take a step back and just kind of, this session, I'm just going to kind of just chill, go with the flow. So I think it would be good to just experiment with both.
that's the thing, experiment. But so this is the issue I have with it the most. He said no, just skip it. Just let people experience it firsthand, and maybe it don't like work for you or you don't like it, but maybe it work for someone. Because for me, I love numbers. I have my training. I have like a massive Excel file that I record everything down to a rep with each flip I do, rep I do, and then I enjoy it thoroughly. This is what brings a lot of joy, following that system, seeing how it works and so on. Makes my training so much more enjoyable. And I would say others training with the flow and so on, that's kind of boring, primitive even. So,
if we have the option to use this.
But I could say this. I mean, I find it boring, but be my guest. But I would never go like this. I would never go like, no man, you're losing lots of efficiency. Yeah, if you track it, you're gonna be more efficient. You're gonna see what you can improve and so on. We'll point out your weak points, blah blah blah. It's like, no man, if you're happy, train the way you want. Yeah, so that's my number one issue with it. Yeah,
the statement itself.
The statement, like
the way that he put it.
Clearly got a little bit triggered because it's like boring. Don't do it like other boring people. Yeah, it was like, yeah, but someone
they can make it exciting for some people.
I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know. Like Callum, your training can be viewed as boring as well. Like, for example, I love flips. You don't do as many flips as me, and I could find it boring. Yeah. So I think just need to the freedom has to be given to people just to do it like the way. Don't tell people what to do. Oh, is it Jimmy the Giants?
Yeah, Jimmy the Giants wanted.
And
similarly, as someone who is not very metrics based, I would argue that it's a personality type as opposed to a better or worse way of being.
People are nice. Yeah.
Some people are more drawn and motivated by metric goal setting, others by experiences. As the latter, I find benefit in activity trying to be more metric driven, and I'm sure people opposite to me may find benefit in focusing more on experiences. Find a way that works for you. Which I think is the main thing to take away from this.
Jimmy the Giant sums up. Yeah, just whatever goes with you. Yeah, just whatever suits you the most. Yeah, and that's but yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, but then there's gonna be some young people watching it who are like kind of developing. They don't have. What he's saying, like adults, but well, there's more and more like younger people are like more like. Infused with all that technology and so on. So there may be some young person who's just at the beginning of the journey and they like these metrics and that gives them fun. And they motivates them to train as well. Like, oh, today I'm gonna do 100 push-ups. Tomorrow I'll do 105 or whatever. Yeah. And then they read something like this. It's like, oh, from the prominent parkour figure who apparently knows a lot about training, and they got discouraged, and maybe they will stop following the path that actually they're passionate about, because this is number one thing, you just whatever you're passionate about, but they'll get discouraged. They will see themselves as something less because they follow metrics. It's not cool.
I don't want to be boring.
Exactly. I don't want to be boring. No, you're not boring. If you're nerdy and then you like numbers, you're not boring. That's the thing. There's a little bit too much. It's tainted with too much judgment. That post doesn't leave the room or respect for other people, way of training or way of seeing things.
Judging by some of Callum's responses to the comments, I don't think that's how he intended the message to come across. It was quite blunt and kind of seemed quite biased in the way that he wanted it, the way that maybe he views it. But because I had a look at some of these comments, some of these debates, and people like he was agreeing with other people on the other side as well. I can't remember which one in particular. There's quite a lot to go through, but I think it was more just kind of like making a statement that sparked this kind of conversation rather than this is the way you have to do it. As a like giving advice kind of standpoint. But obviously, if that's not explained, then it looks like.
That's the thing. The way you formulate your thoughts is super important. Yeah. So Anyway, so I
the
think,
conclusion is find the way that works best for you, really.
and just don't let anyone, you know, criticize or like discourage you from the way you like to train. Yeah. Yeah, just follow that, you know, just follow the cliche, but follow what's kind of your passion, yeah, what excites you, and then don't let other people discourage you from your path. All right.
I think that's basically it.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let us know your thoughts on this topic as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you have any other perspectives to bring to the table, you're more than welcome. And
See you in another Ninja Talk video.
yes.